Welcome to another episode of Finding the Seams, post-holiday edition of Finding the Seams. And I have learned so much in the minutes leading up to the show about the holiday that Brendan had, the condition he's in right now, because I assume you probably ate the way that I ate, but you are attacking that fact right off the bat, and we're now into a fast. Do I have that correct?
Yeah, I decided my family left to go out of town today, so I decided I'm gonna do the 72-hour fast. So I stopped eating last night at 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna see if I can make it to Monday. We'll see. We'll see how it go. We'll see.
How are you feeling right now, right this moment? Little lightheaded, little,
Nah,
or
I
you
feel
got that sharpness from not eating?
nah. It's day one. They say you don't really struggle till day three. Day three is when you want to give up. So right now I'm cool. Right now I'm cool. I'll be all
Have you
right today. Just a little water. Just a little water today.
have you done this before?
Never in my life. I've never
What
even done
inspired you to do it now?
my wife was talking about doing it, and I said I would do it with her, and then she actually ended up not doing it. But I said if I'm ever going to do it, it would be a perfect time to do it when the
Yeah.
kids are out of town and I ain't got to watch them eat junk while I starve.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Very good. Very good. So before we leave the whole holiday topic, what was the best gift you gave, and what was the best gift you received?
The best gift that I gave was I don't know. I give people what they want. So my wife really likes the Van Cleef jewelry, so I gave her some of that. That's quite expensive too. So that's probably the best gift I gave from an expensive standpoint. My daughter loves Hello Kitty, so we gave her a bunch of Hello Kitty stuff, and she thinks I'm the best dad in the world right now. So I'll take that. As far as best gift that I got, my wife got me an incredibly comfortable pair of Louis Vuitton like dress sneakers that I can wear with my suits because like when I go call those games and I'm out
Yeah.
and I'm walking around the stadiums, I hate calling games and wearing Howard bottoms. But
Yep.
the Louis Vuitton dress sneakers are really comfortable and they go well with my suits.
Good. 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 That sounds great. By the way, my wife saw photos of the fam, said your daughter is adorable.
She has the stunning good looks of her pops.
There you go. There you go. There you go. And then you also got your wife a selfie stick, right?
Yeah, because she was coming in my office and messing up my setup that we have for our podcast. You see how I'm perfectly
Yeah,
framed
now
right now?
you are lined up.
Yeah, but she comes in, takes my selfie stick, and shoots her own little videos. I'm like, "Are you an influencer or something?" Like, yeah. So I got her a selfie stick on top of the other stuff that I got for Christmas.
Very good. Very good. The gift that I got, thanks for asking. The gift that I got that I appreciated the most, and it was probably one of the smallest gifts, was my wife got me a little stamp. She got one for my son too, where I can stamp my golf balls with my initials. So
Mm.
you can personalize your golf balls, which if you play, I live on a course, so I see a lot of golf balls that are personalized. I always thought, man, it'd be cool if I could have those.
Okay,
Now I
all
have them.
right.
As
Look
far as
at
what
you.
I gave my
Hold
wife.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let's not gloss over the humble brag. Yeah, I live on a golf course. Well, I tell you, boy, Rick, you done did good for yourself, boy. You did good.
I was just trying to slide that in.
My palatial estate on the golf course.
Yeah,
I got a lot of golf balls in my backyard.
that's the negative, by the way.
Yeah,
Is sitting there. Actually, it's entertaining because I can. There's the eighth tee box like right beyond my fence,
yeah.
and
Okay.
you get all kinds of golfers, and my buddies and I'll sit out by the fire pit and just sit back and watch the show.
The fire pit. Just keep on swag. Hey, did you ever used to watch the Martin Lawrence show?
Yes.
Hey, you ever remember the episode with Varnel Hill?
No.
Go back. Go. You got to go back.
Okay.
It's with Tommy Davidson, baby. But yeah, it's like
Okay.
this guy that comes on just extra swaggy about all the stuff he got.
Yep, all the stuff he's got.
You Varnell Hill right now. Got Lake Varnell in the back. But let's get to it. What we got today?
All right. We know what we got so much to get to. Let's start with the Lakers. We always end up doing the Lakers.
Again, we start with the Lakers again.
All right. You know what? We're not going to start with the Lakers.
No,
Let's
we can't.
start-
We can though. We can.
No, we're going to start. I mean, Christmas Day gave us a lot. But I actually do want to start with the San Antonio Spurs, now 3-0 against the Oklahoma City Thunder. 3 decisive wins. the Spurs have beaten the Thunder more times than the rest of the league has. And we talked about this an episode ago or two, and you were telling me how the bridge is too far for San Antonio to surpass OKC. And we were talking more playoffs and postseason and big picture. Does anything that you've seen to this point shift your thinking about the Spurs' potential and the threat that they pose to the Oklahoma City Thunder?
Slightly. I think what shifted my opinion a little bit, obviously, they beat them 3 times in a row. So what that means is now, decisively. So what that means, hey, 1 is fun, twice is nice, 3 times, now we got a trend going on. But more importantly, we're gaining confidence. If they see those guys in the playoff series, the Spurs are going to come in with a little extra bounce, a little extra juice. We ain't scared of y'all. Yeah. I know y'all beating the rest of the league. We not scared of y'all.
Yeah.
And that is what I think you heard Shea talk about it a little bit after the game. And that's what Shea realizes. We gave them an extra boost of confidence if they see us later on. If we have to play them in a series, they're not going to walk into said series like some of these other teams. They're going to be able to rely on film and feelings from the past that says this is what we were able to do to beat this team, and we're going to do it again. And that's where I have changed my stance slightly. I still would take OKC, but I understand that now the Spurs are going to have a lot of confidence going into that series.
Yeah. I don't always put a whole lot of emphasis or significance to games that are played on Christmas. You know, people say it's a big audience and all that stuff. The time is different. It can really screw you. It can screw teams up. You don't necessarily get a clear understanding of who they are. But considering how the first 2 games went, and this game was in Oklahoma City, it added some value to it for me with San Antonio that they went out and did the exact same thing that they've done. And the thing that struck me is San Antonio has no problem with OKC's aggression and physicality. They can meet that. And to me, that's been the thing that I think that has caught Oklahoma City a little by surprise. And then obviously the matchups with Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren, Luke Cornett to a lesser extent with Isaiah Hartenstein. But for you, when you look at it, what does San Antonio have that the rest of the league doesn't, that they're doing this to Oklahoma City?
They have multiple guys that score the ball different ways. So first and foremost, they got multiple ball handlers. So you got De'Aaron Fox, you got a guy like Harper, you still got Castle, and then you have Wemby. So you have what OKC does really well is lock in on teams that only have 1 to 2 guys. You know, like, hey, if OKC has to play against Minnesota, Ant-Man, you're going to be tired because we're gonna run 4, 5, 6 different defenders at you and they're going to play at a high level and wear you down. Where the Spurs would be like, okay, cool, you're going to run a bunch of different defenders at De'Aaron Fox. That's fine. Well, we can go. Harper can get down the lane also, and then they can say, yeah, we also got this 7'5", 7'6" guy that's a unicorn that we can just throw lobs. We can run offense through him, and you don't have an answer for him. Yeah. Chet can't guard him. Hey, Chet needs to take this matchup more seriously too. He does. Wemby is looking at you like you fool. Like he's saying it. I don't see us as a competition. He's saying it with his play. He's saying it with his mouth. If I'm on the OKC staff, and I hate to jump off topic, I'm trying to put a battery in Chet's back. If you got a pulse, if you got any amount of anger and angst, the next time you see this dude, I need you playing with your hair on fire because he's low-key disrespecting you. Like, I don't look at him like that. Make him look at you like that. And now to get back to the bigger topic, the bigger thing is, hey, they have multiple guys that can get down the lane. Then you have Wemby, and so they have multiple different ways to score. And OKC kind of likes to beat up on what the NBA is today. Everybody trying to play the same style of pick and roll with 1 or 2 guys, and they got like 6 guys that can guard those actions.
Yeah. By the way, I love that Wemby is speaking out. There's some people that are thinking, hey, young fella, easy. Don't be that out front. I absolutely love it. He is embracing who he is and what he is and the status that he has. I would much rather have that. The challenge is going to be with Chet, because he has what's made him good and made that OKC team work is that as talented as he is, he's been willing to take that subsidiary role, if you will. Now, with Wemby kind of calling him out, it's like, how do I be as aggressive as I need to be to try to win this battle without upsetting the apple cart for the Thunder?
Well, the thing is, when I say that you got to put the battery in Chet's back, that doesn't mean I want to see him take 30 shots. Nah, the offense still runs through Shea and J-Dub.
But you know how it goes with young guys. Like, that's their first thought is if I'm going to go back at this guy, I got to go back at him by attacking him at the offensive end.
And that's where you got to coach him. Hey, we're going to put him in the actions. I need you being, well, listen, when we run a pick and pop and he's closing out at you, I need you to be ultra aggressive. When he's running down the court, shoot him one. Get him off his spot a little bit. Yeah. Let him know you here. I give you a moment where a guy let me know that he was here. And it was your favorite player, LeBron James. So you remember in that series where LeBron goes backdoor, Caron Butler got backdoor by LeBron. And our coaching staff, Eddie Jordan told me, if LeBron James gets any monster dunks in the half court, I don't care where you're at. If you don't challenge the shot, you're coming out the game. I said, okay, coach. Caron tries to deny. LeBron goes backdoor. I see him at the last minute. I come from from the top of the key, and I clothesline, take him out the air. Bah! Hard foul. And then that's when he's trying to hurt me that I did. That's when that whole thing came about. Later on in that series, out of nowhere, I'm just running down the court, real smooth, Braun. Boom! And Braun kind of strong. I ain't let him know he got me, but he got me. Oh. And I looked at him. He just looked. He didn't say nothing. He was letting me know he's here. Hey, bro, I seen the foul you gave me, and I'm going to raise you a forearm shiver to the back. Just going to let you know that I ain't forgot. I was like, okay. And I was like, you know what?
You got to respect that.
I respect that.
Yeah,
I like it.
I
like it. And so that is, I'm not telling Chet to take cheap shots, but you got to let Wemby know you here. Yeah. I'm here. Hey, bro. Hey, listen, when you get a dunk, I'm at you. I need that. And maybe it's not in your personality, but I need it to be. You know what I'm saying? Hey, maybe you don't yell. Maybe you just give him the stare, the look. That Tim Duncan look. Tim Duncan will just give you the look.
Yep.
He's such a nice guy. He just give you the look. So I need Chet turned up from now on when he sees Wemby, because it's obvious Wemby is looking at this one way and Chet's not.
Yeah. It's tricky, though, because they don't get matched up a lot defensively. Yeah.
Right.
They like using smaller guys, so it's almost like Chet's got to look for that opportunity to come over and make a help play.
Yeah, come over, make a help play, block Wemby's shot from the weak side. Let him know about it.
Yep.
Let him know. Hey, listen, it's just those little moments. I'm here. That's all you let them know. I'm here. I'm here now.
By the way, can we set the record straight when it comes to how much LeBron James weighs? Because I think they had him listed as like 250 or 260 forever in the guides and the Basketball Reference. And I had somebody with the Cavs tell me that when he got on the scale, they were standing behind him and they looked over his shoulder. And it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was 282 at that time. And it was a good 282. That dude is built, and the 250 does not do justice to just how strong and muscular he was at his height.
I have no idea how much he weighs. All I know is, hey, listen, if you tell me he was 282, when he hit me in my back, I felt all 282. I was like, who hit me? I was like, was that Ben Wallace? I looked at it, it was Braun. I didn't think that was him.
He was legit.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn to the Lakers, largely because of what JJ Redick, head coach, said after they got run 119-96, down by 12 after the first quarter. Houston Rockets had 3, I think, offensive rebounds on 3 of the first 4 possessions. It was, the Lakers didn't look ready to play from the get-go. And JJ pointed that out and minced no words afterward. Said, I'm not going to do this for 53 more games. We don't care enough was the statement, which is, and there's certain things that coaches can't say. You can't say about a player or a team, your team, they quit. That to me is like, You're going to lose a team in a hurry. I'm just wondering at this point, Brendan, it's Christmas. There's 53 games left, and it feels as if JJ has pulled the fire alarm more than once already. How does what you're hearing and seeing impact the way you look at the Lakers and what maybe your initial expectations were?
My expectations haven't changed.
You still playoff team for sure.
Yeah,
Because that's where I'm beginning to think they might be in play-in mode.
No, I mean playoff, play in, whatever it is. I expect them to be playing some basketball in late April, beginning of May.
Okay.
But do I expect them to be making a major run? No, I've said it from the jump. And last night I heard, I think who's on the call? It was Richard Jefferson and Tim Duncan.
Yep.
And they said something, go back and look about mid-second quarter. They said it's only a 10-point game, but it looks like Houston's players are playing at a different speed than the Lakers. And I was at home thinking the exact same thing because I'm watching, like, when you watch Amin Thompson, like he's just Euro stepping right past the Lakers.
Yep.
You're watching Tari Eason, and you're watching, like, Jabari Smith. Like, hey, man, they have some guys that are moving at a different speed, and the Lakers don't have that level of athleticism. We saw that last year when the Lakers got beat by Minnesota. Like, Minnesota was just running straight to the front of the rim and just easy. And that's what's going on right now. It's like JJ Redick, I feel bad for him because he's obviously frustrated. We're going to get better level of effort. Or what? You can. Hey, listen. Hey, Rick. In life, sometimes you can play your hand and get hit with an or what moment because you can't make Luka or LeBron play better defense. Or what? You can't bench him. What you gonna do? You just gotta try to figure it out. And the or what moment is the most humbling thing ever. You want to know the biggest or what moment that I ever got hit with?
Huh.
It was by my wife. Oh yeah. The little mini dynamo that she is. That's when I realized what an or what moment is. You know, I hope you don't get mad I'm telling the story. We're married. It's year one. You know, year one, Rick, marriage kind of get a little rough. Year one, you got to figure some stuff out. And I'm giving my best tough guy speech, just like JJ Redick is. Hey, man, got to watch who you're talking to.
Ooh.
And my wife, being the 5'4" mini dynamo that she is, looked me dead in my eye sockets and said, or what? Hey, listen. Hey, and then she walked out the room while I was still giving my tough guy speech. I was like, you know what? That's about right. You probably should have left 5 minutes ago. You know? Hey, but the thing is, when you get hit with an or what moment, it's humbling.
Yeah.
Because I realized when she said or what, she's right.
You overplayed your hand.
Hey, I'm not leaving. Like, so yeah, I might as well pipe down. Hey, JJ Redick, you've been hit with an or what moment. Yeah. You can't bench Luka or Bron. You got to pipe down. You can't do nothing. These guys are going to play better defense, or I'm not going to have it for 53 games. Luka's looking at you in his best Slovenian voice. Or what, my brother? Like, what are you going to do?
So
you can't bench the $100 million, the $200, $300 million man. You damn sure can't bench a legendary player like LeBron James. When you're talking about defense, you start with them two guys. You said you had a meeting. Like, listen, JJ Redick is about to get hit with the same thing I got hit with my first year of marriage. Or what?
But see, that's where this to me is dangerous because it's one thing, LeBron's not going to be there too much longer. Luka's going to be there. So when you do the or what, I mean, because as being married, having a daughter, like all that, you're not leaving. This is your deal, right?
You're not. You'll be here.
You got a guaranteed lifetime contract. That's not the case with JJ and the Lakers and the NBA as a head coach. Like, there's fans out there that are loving what JJ Redick said, not understanding that this is not football. Like, this is, and it's not college, it's pro. And Luka Doncic is going to be in LA as long as he wants to be in LA. JJ can't say the same. He doesn't have the same latitude. So when you run into this, or what moment, it kills some of your authority moving forward, because you've now established or what is an acceptable answer, and that you can go all nuclear and you're pushing the button and there's no response. So that's, to me, where, being as young as he is, and he's sort of a firebrand, and everybody's kind of loved the fact that there's no bones about what he's thinking or saying. But this is the danger as an NBA head coach, is that you have to temper your criticism, because it's a long season and the players have more longevity in general than you do.
And more importantly, you don't have the players
to make a difference. That is
to make a change.
Yeah.
I love Jared Vanderbilt, but if you playing Vando, ain't nobody guarding him.
Yep.
So what are you going to do? You're going to give more minutes to Vando and sit down who?
Yep.
And how is that going to prepare you to win a championship? Because in a playoff series, the teams are going to let him take it. If he wants to take 10, 15 shots, they will let him take as many as he will not be guarded. So it's like, who are you going to play? Where's this? They don't have athletic young players. They don't have the rim protection. They don't have an Amin Thompson. Where's the young athletic dude on the wing that's guarding people? Marcus Smart used to be that, but not this version of Marcus Smart. He's a lot older. He's smart. He's crafty. But he can't go out there and play like Amin Thompson can. Dog, did you see how quick those Euro steps were looking against I was like, oh my God. And I know that's his go-to move, but I was like, against the lay, I was like, man, Amin Thompson is looking incredibly fast.
But I saw Stephon Castle do that same thing to LeBron.
Oh my God. Did you see when he listen, Stephon Castle
he did it to Luka.
Well, no. Did you see when he buckled LeBron up a little, and they didn't even really show that highlight like that. That's when I was starting to look. I was like, this was the stuff that I was talking about at the beginning of the year, because you can't ask LeBron to go guard a young dog like that no more. You can't ask Luka to do it. You can't ask Austin Reeves to do it. So who are you going to ask to do it?
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, if somebody gets past them, I think DeAndre Ayton has played solid this year, but they don't have a Chet Holmgren. They don't have a Wemby level defender.
They don't have an Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis was cleaning up a lot of that.
Exactly. They so it's like JJ keeps talking about, man, we're going to play defense.
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
There's nothing JJ Redick can do right now. Nothing. And I feel bad for him.
But this is what's tricky, is because JJ is approaching us the way he is. And then we have LeBron, who, I don't know what your expectation was, but the checkout is happening quicker and more severely than I expected that it would. When you have being asked about the All-Star game, and it's like, how important, why is it still important to you? And he's confused by the question. And then the reporter asks, well, why does it still matter? And he says, oh, that's a better way of phrasing it, because that's, the All-Star game does matter. It just doesn't matter to me anymore. If that's just a microcosm. It's not that he doesn't care about playing in the All-Star game. It's that I feel like LeBron doesn't care about playing at the same level that he once did, because for many of the reasons that you pointed out. And I know you've explained it, and you're right. Like, he's never been in this position before. But nonetheless, when you have a guy with his standing and stature who is checking out, that's awfully tough for your culture as a team, is it not?
I ain't going to say he's checking out. Come on, Rick. I ain't going to say he's checking out. But I will say that I've said it from the jump. This level of LeBron being uncomfortable in this space, anybody can see it coming. He has never in his adult life been in a situation where he was on a team where people thought the other guy was clearly better than him.
Mm.
Like, he's never been on a team where they didn't care what his input was, what he thought, how he was feeling, how's he doing today. They don't care. They don't care. It's the Luka show.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about. And so, like, to me, I'm not like everything I'm seeing with the Lakers. You go back and look at past episodes. I've said, yeah, they're not going to be able to defend, and now people are saying they're not going to be able to defend. I saw that. I could see that in October. Hey, man, LeBron might be feeling a certain way. Yo, like, yeah, his whole life, he's what, 40, 41? So let's just say for the last 20 years, he's been used to being treated a certain way. And now it's different. Yep. Of course, that's going to be uncomfortable for anybody. And so, I'm not shocked by any of this. I have said from the jump, this is how it's going to play out. And right now, I'm pretty much looking like a prophet. The Lakers are a solid team. I feel they're going to make the playoffs. They don't have the athleticism, the defensive intensity, or the defensive players or stamina to be a team that we think is going to be there in the end. JJ Redick can say whatever he wants to. LeBron James is still going to be frustrated with this role that he has to play, and that's that. And we'll see how the Lakers figure this out next year.
It's interesting how the Lakers and the Warriors have been battling each other over the years in various ways. It hasn't always been at the top of the Western Conference, but in somewhere, it feels like they've been on the same track, right? And both in the play-in, one knocking the other out or trying to sneak in and make a run. And I feel like we're seeing that too in multiple ways. Starring as LeBron James for the Golden State Warriors is Draymond Green. Like, you've got some of the same dynamic. Defensively, they're struggling mightily because you just don't have enough wing defenders on that team, right?
And did I not tell you Golden State? Remember, Golden State started out hot. Did I not tell you I wasn't buying
it? Yeah. You did.
Hey, listen.
The Lakers started out hot too.
Hey, listen. Hey, I know it might sound funny, or I might sound like a hater to some of their fan bases, but it's just like, because I've played at a high level for 14 years, I know what I think is important. And when I don't see it, I don't believe in said team. So when I see a team like Golden State with very little size, very little rim protection, being forced to rely on the 37, 38-year-old guard, I'm like, I don't know how sustainable that is. That's not what championship teams normally look like.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to see it play out, and we can transition into this Steve Kerr, Draymond Green situation.
Yep.
That's a little bit weird. It's a little weird. It's looking like an old couple that's finally ready to get their divorce.
Yep.
And I will say this. I think Steve Kerr was a little too lax with Dray. I like Dray. I love what Dray brings to the table. Under no circumstance can you just let a player walk off the bench with no repercussions.
Yeah.
Unless Steve Kerr said something diabolically disrespectful to elicit that response. That's the only, and we don't know what was said. Now, if you called that man out of his name or said something severely disrespectful that you wouldn't say to another man, I'll give Dray that grace. But if that is not what happened, if it was just player versus coach, it got heated, you cannot let the culture be, when you get upset, you just get to walk off and go to the locker room. Because I know Jonathan Kuminga is looking at the situation like, oh, this is what we doing? So y'all want to get tough with me, but we just going to let him do that?
Yeah.
And that becomes a problem for how you coach your team. I'll give you an example. I saw a coach do it the right way and the wrong way. The coach that did it the wrong way, the right way, I wasn't even on his team. So Eddie Jordan, he was trying to get his second contract, and he was kind of letting Gilbert Arenas get away with a lot. And we could all see it, whether it was on the court, off the court. And there was one time where he tried to get really, talk sternly to Jared Jeffries. And Jared Jeffries looking at him like, all right, well, it's like, I know you ain't going to ignore all that stuff that Gil's doing, and then you're going to try to get tough with me? Nah, don't be a tough guy with 6th or 7th man. Nah, don't get tough with me. And we all see it. That's how the locker room is. If you're scared to coach certain players, we might not say it to you, but now what you say falls on deaf ears because it's like, oh, you let Dray do that? You let Gilbert Arenas do that? Like, nah. And now you're going to try to get to. And I felt the same way at times. Like, Eddie, I know you ain't talking to me after you let all that slide.
Right.
And now on the flip side, this is how I saw it done the right way. We're in DC, Spurs versus Wizards. We're going on like a little mini run, maybe 8-10 point run. Tim Duncan catches the ball like he's done a bunch of times, shoots a contested 15, let's say 15, 16-foot jump shot. I had a hand up, but it's the first. As soon as it got to him, he shot it. Pop lit into him, saying 4-letter words. We don't curse on this show, do we?
No, we try not to.
Okay, so I won't do it. So Pop lit into him from the sideline. I could hear it. Like, hey, Tim, what kind of bleeping shot is that? They're on an 8-0 run. Get a better shot than that. And I figured, you know what, man, me being the guy that I am, I like to stir the pot. I came down the court at the next dead ball. Dang, Tim, you gonna let them talk to you like that? Hey, and this is why Tim Duncan is such a great guy. After I hit him with that, he just said, yeah, that doesn't bother me, but it makes it easier for him to coach the rest of the guys. I was like, God, why are you so perfect? Why? Why are you so perfect? And that's the thing that Pop realized. If I coach this guy like that, Tony Parker, when I say something to him, he better shut up.
Yeah.
And to bring it full circle, that's what Kerr missed. You've let Dray get away with certain things for so long that now when you try to bring it full circle to the young guys, there's a group chat where they talk about, can you believe Coach tried to do this to me after letting Dray get away with walking off the bench, punching a player basically with no suspension. Whatever it's been for so long, they look at him like, you have let this dude run amok for this amount of time. Don't get tough with me. And that's the difference between what I saw with Pop and Kerr and what I'm seeing from Kerr right now.
See, the missing part for me is it shouldn't necessarily be Steve stepping in and doing that. It should be the GM or the organization. It should be the collective. It shouldn't be like Eric Spoelstra shouldn't have to tell LeBron James, hey, I know you want to get rid of me, but you're not getting rid of me. Like Pat Riley took that up and took care of that. But that to me is the missing part because, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like the coach and the player, they have to have a relationship ongoing, right? And you want the punishment. You want to know that the player can't just get away with anything, but know that the entire organization is behind that idea. And it takes some of the heat off of Steve. So it doesn't, now it's not a Steve Draymond thing. It's a Draymond Warriors thing. And I think that that's a much stronger position to be in if you're trying to make this relationship work going forward. You know what I mean?
Everybody has to be on board with the direction of the organization and what the culture is going to be. So it has to be basically when that happens, the next day should look like this. We let cooler heads prevail that night. The next day, Dray gets called into a meeting. And that meeting is with the GM, the assistant GM, and Steve Kerr, and maybe the head assistant. Hey, Dray, this is what we think. This is where our culture is, and this is what you did that we didn't agree with. And you're not playing the next game. That's it. And guess what? Now that sends a message to the. All right, well, if they'll sit Draymond down, now Jonathan Kuminga will be like, well, I better. Hey, when I don't get my shot to my minutes, I better pipe down and just be quiet over here because they letting people know what the culture's gonna be.
Yeah,
and that's basically what Tim was telling me when I was trying to be slick and trying to be funny. He's like, yo, the culture is he can talk to me, and because he talks to me, he talks to everybody else, and everybody else knows they better get in line because we have a level of culture here with the Spurs. The front office sets the tone. I act a certain way. Pop's allowed to coach me, and because he's allowed to coach me, he's allowed everybody else understands they bet not get out of line. They better not. And that's just how a lot of the really good teams do it.
No, it's all the good organizations do that. We saw that with the Miami.
And Golden State's a great organization. We're not going to act like they're not. I just think that there's been some slippage from a discipline standpoint between the organization and Dray for quite some time.
I don't think people appreciate how incredibly unique the Warriors are, and what a flash in the pan the 2022 championship was. Like, to me, that was the last gasp. And they should have been looking at okay, we've taken this as far as we can. Re-signing Draymond Green to big money at that point, even Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins, like those guys were all about getting paid and getting a ring. And they got that. But it wasn't like that team was built to continue the dynasty or have another big run. And that to me was the mistake the Warriors made, was that they thought, okay, maybe we can squeeze out one more. And I think that's what franchises do all too often when you still have a Steph Curry, is like, we might be able to get one more. It's like, even if you do, the hole that you're putting yourself in financially, particularly in today's NBA with the way the salary cap is, you can't get out of that. Like, they're stuck. The Jimmy Butler move was the same thing. It was like you're grasping at straws now. They have the second highest payroll in the league. And that's not changing in the next year or two as a result of what they have. So their ability to pivot out of this we're headed in a direction that the Warriors are not going to be able to pull out of, because you're not going to get anything for Jimmy Butler. You're not going to get anything for Draymond Green. You're not going to get anything for Jonathan Kuminga.
The best teams understand their situations and they move before they're in dire straits.
Yes.
The best teams are able to, I'll say they have a great ability to self-scout and understand when the run is over.
Yep.
And it's the hardest thing in the world, because you don't want to give up on a championship when you think you got a shot. But like the Jimmy Butler trade, I never thought that was going to work. Like, I didn't think long-term it was going to work as far as making them a championship-level team, right, because they were missing so many other things that Jimmy Butler doesn't make up for rim protection. Jimmy Butler can defend, but he's not the same level of defender that he was with the Chicago Bulls. You can't ask him at this age to go guard Ant-Man all game long and then still be fresh and be able to go score a certain point. Bringing in Jimmy Butler was putting a Band-Aid on a wound that needed stitches.
Yep.
And now Golden State is seeing that that's probably not going to be enough, and now they just got to figure out what the next steps are.
Yep, agreed. All right, one more I want to get to before we sign off, and that is the Cleveland Cavaliers, now 17-15. They lost to the Knicks, again, Christmas Day, giving us multitude of situations to talk about. Now 17-15, lost to the New York Knicks. They're a long way from where they were last year. No one was anticipating this coming into the season. How do you explain what is happening to the Cleveland Cavaliers at this point?
The first thing is their young guys haven't taken a step forward, and some might say they have regressed. We thought Darius Garland had taken that step. It hasn't happened. The numbers have regressed. We thought Evan Mobley was going to take that next step. And sometimes when you have young players on the horizon, we see them and we see the talent level and we see them do certain things, and we just automatically assume, oh, next year is going to be even better, or it's going to be the same or better. And sometimes that doesn't happen. And Donovan Mitchell is great, but he's a scorer. When you have a guy that's a scorer, I always say this, when you have a guy that's a scorer as opposed to a playmaker, got to make sure the team is built the right way. It's got to have the right pieces encompassing around them. And when you look at where this team is today, I still think Donovan Mitchell's a great player. I still think Evan Mobley's a great player. I still think Darius Garland can get back to all-star status. But those two young guys haven't taken the steps that I think that we thought they would. And then just collectively as a whole, Cleveland seemed off this year. I'm not sure what it is. It's like, I don't know if it's like that's one of the weird ones, because I thought they'd be way better than this, especially in the year where the Pacers and the Boston was down. I expected Cleveland to be at the top of the Eastern Conference. They still got time, but this is one of those ones where I look at the young guys, they haven't taken a step. And the next part of that, I'm trying to figure out, is there something behind the scenes that we don't know about? Because this seems weird.
Yeah, I feel as if I have seen this before with not just, and I don't want to focus just on Kenny Atkinson, but Kenny Atkinson and coaches like Kenny Atkinson, whereas they are attention to detail, a lot of focus on defense. They're very exacting. And when you ask that of a team, a young team, and they respond, and then you get to the playoffs and it doesn't work, or you get hit in the mouth and you're not nearly as good as all that work you did in the regular season, I think that sends a message to the team like, maybe his program isn't what we thought it was. And you lose that little bit of commitment to doing everything that he's asking you to do. And again, it's like you go to push the button and there's no response. And so I feel like I saw this with Kenny, I want to say in Brooklyn. Was it Brooklyn? I'm trying to think where he.
Yeah, Brooklyn, but Brooklyn was kind of different though, because they were the real hard nosed working team, and then they did the moves for Kevin Durant and Kyrie, and they had to change the identity.
Yes. But it was still, he was getting what he did. And I think that was because, in part, like KD and Kyrie come in and go, okay, that's good for a middling team, or getting a bad team to overachieve, a less talented team to overachieve. That's not how we're gonna win it all. However you want to define it, there's a lack of confidence. There's confidence lost in what the coach is asking you to do. And that's overall, I just don't see the same energy out of Cleveland that I saw last year, where everybody was all committed. I'm just curious, before we go, I mentioned Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley. I would say that those are the three primary, most important players on that Cavaliers team. Fair?
Yeah.
How would you rank them in terms of their importance and value? If you're going to make a move with Cleveland, or however you want to rank those players, what's their level of importance? What's their overall value as you see it?
I think the most important player on that squad is Evan Mobley.
Okay.
Offense, defense, what he brings you. I think so many teams would love to have a player like that. Then the second guy is obviously Donovan Mitchell, his high level scoring ability, his ability to make shots, and then the last part would be Darius Garland.
I'm always torn between Garland and Donovan, because I think Garland is a little more of a playmaker. I think he has the capability. He doesn't have the scoring capability, the dynamic ability, I think, that Donovan has. But I think as far as a guy who can get everybody involved and make decisions, I kind of like his game a little bit more when it comes to that, as far as if I'm building a team. Because I think Donovan is fool's gold to a certain extent. I think that he can have really big games. But when you get to the postseason, I don't know that stands up. And I just approach it, I'm never expecting that out of Darius. I'm expecting a different type of contribution from him. So that's where, if you were asking me, I'd probably build around Darius and Mobley and see what I could get for Donovan at this point. It was a nice pickup. It was a nice experiment. I think we know what there is right now in Cleveland.
I mean, I can't fight it because we're trying to figure out what would work or what wouldn't work. It's just, I believe a little bit more in Donovan Mitchell. Darius Garland is kind of like the upside and the potential. Like if you got Darius Garland, you got Mobley, you got two guys with a lot of upside of potential. Well, upside of potential gets a lot of people fired if it doesn't get realized.
True.
And that's the thing. We keep waiting for the step.
Yeah.
Like I think Mobley should be a guy that scores way more and is way more aggressive.
But don't you think those two have been truncated by Donovan's presence? I mean, I've actually had scouts tell me that they thought Mobley hasn't evolved the same way, in part because of Donovan's presence.
Yeah, but Donovan shot the ball less last year. He scored the ball. They won a lot of games. He shot the ball way less than he normally does. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I know that he shot the ball less last season than he normally does. And you know what I'm saying? And so when I watched Mobley at USC, I was like, man, this guy's skilled. But I remember watching, I think they played Gonzaga, and Drew Timme was giving him the business. And I was like, I was looking for the response, the fire. Like, oh, okay, this guy's scoring.
Yeah.
And it was just like, he was just, like when you watch Evan Mobley play, he always seems like he's just here.
Yeah.
He don't never get like Evan Mobley can have the dunk of the year. You won't even know. He just, he could be playing. He could have 40, or he could have 2.
Yeah.
It's like he's always just even keeled, and sometimes I need him to turn up hey man, I was watching that game when he, like I said, at USC. I was like, yo, Drew Timmy's getting at you. I need you to be aggressive to go back at him. Show me
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't. And so like that's what I'm like. How many games can you say throughout the course of Evan Mobley's career have you been like, yo, that guy, even before Donovan Mitchell got there,
Yep.
or even when Donovan Mitchell was hurt, you just been watching, you're like, yo, he stacked 4 or 5 aggressive games in a row.
You know who else is like that?
Who's that?
Darius Garland. Which is
And you want to keep
why that may not
build
be.
around both of them.
But
You want to build around both of them.
It may not. That's good reason. That's why we have this show. We talk these things out. We figure out where we're flawed in our thinking and where we're not.
Listen, at the end of the day, if you're going to give a guy the keys to your organization,
yeah,
he needs to. This is real simple. This is a free game. He needs to be a self-starter. Just that he needs to be a guy that I don't have to tell him to turn up. He knows to turn up.
Right.
He needs to be a guy that can look, assess the situation, and be like, okay, I gave these guys a shot. It's go time.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's Darius Garland or Mobley.
Yeah. That's fair. No, that's fair. That's fair. All right. That does it for this episode. If we have another episode, it will mean that Brennan Haywood survived
the story of my wife.
His fasting. Yes. And the story of your wife. Right. Man. Fraught with peril over the next couple of days. Please stay tuned. We will be updating you on social media as to whether this show will still exist, whether Brennan Haywood will still exist in his current form beyond the next 72 hours. In the meantime, Brendan, always a pleasure, man. We'll do it again.
I'll be back. I might not. Or what? What you going to do? If I don't show back up, or what? It's an or what moment.
See ya.